So that means trucking. I mean, it's an expanded definition a little bit, but we added in trucking, we added in like buses, we added in plumbers, like, and so it's like half of men are doing that. We're only 6% of women are. And I'm like, how is it fair? And we're a net taxpayer loss. So we spend more than we make. So I'm like, wait, the men are paying all the money. They're doing all the hard jobs. And as a thank you, we discriminate against. I'm like, we're out of pocket. We have been too spoiled. We got to take this shit away immediately.
And we're all the college debt as well now.
Yes.
Men aren't going to college.
And they teach you in college to Me Too men. I remember this. Because oh my God, they totally do. Wow. They totally do. They totally do.
In the UK too, everywhere. Just everywhere.
Well, I don't know. I didn't go to school here, but I've heard women like use terms that I don't know where else they would have got from. So like, for example,
like sociological studies.
Well, sociology was like made up anyway. It's like not even real.
Well, that's where they would do it.
Psychology.
They can make up shit.
But yeah, I remember in college we had this like thing that we like, I don't know what it was for. I think it was to play in sports. Like, I just remember I had to go to this meeting and they basically were like, if you say no before sex, and then like he basically the man's pushy, all right? Their guys are like car salesmen.
Come on.
Please buy the car.
Keep going with it. You'll get it a bit.
Yeah.
Oh my God, this joke is getting better.
You ever buy something and it's like you really didn't want to buy it, but the salesman just wouldn't let it go. Basically, they said if a guy does that, it's rape. Yeah, and it's because they switched the and this is what women do. We go into these industries and then we're like, we don't like your tone and let's change the meanings of words. And they take these words that have meant the same thing for 100 years. Like, what was rape? It used to be I pulled a chick off the side of the road and she was screaming and crying.
Forced, basically.
Yeah, forced. And I forgot the exact definition, but it was like forced carnal or there's some other word. But it's basically forced sex, and they switched it to sex without consent, but consent is subjective. I met a guy who literally thought he raped a chick because like she was like grinding on him or like in bed, and then she said no, and I don't know, some weird stuff, but I'm like, that's not the same thing.
He was grinding on her, or she was grinding on him?
Well, she was like in his bed, and I don't that, but I was like, that's not the same thing as like rape.
Well, it also goes back to like responsibility. If you're in some dude's bed, what do you think is gonna happen?
Yo, these Zoomers are retarded.
And then on top of that, they added in more. They added new words too. They added these like new words that nobody knows what they mean.
Coercion.
Yeah, like coercion.
Yeah.
Coercion, sexual assault, and they teach you this stuff in these like classes.
Did you see?
And guys are guilty before being proven innocent.
Well, and women are dummies. Like we're all idiots.
Did you see that thing, Paul? Though in the UK, they've incorporated love bombing into what can now be called coercion. So basically, what is love bombing? It's being nice. It's like doing nice things. It's
we hate nice guys so much.
We hate betas. No betas in America.
Put them all in jail.
Yeah. And so I was just like, this is all craziness.
Yeah.
This is all.
But you're right about Zoomers though, because I saw a stat. I think Chris Williamson posted a stat earlier, but it was something ridiculous. Like it was something like 18% of effectively Zoomers think that asking a woman out for a drink is always harassment or something like that. It was just nuts.
These are liberals. Like, it has to be some beta cut.
It's like back to people being behind a screen, right? There's so much behind their phone and everything that they're just like, now like fucking being a human is illegal.
I know,
and like, women, we're such dummies. Like, think about this. We pick husbands who you spend the next 50 years of your life with, probably the most important decision we can make, who we reproduce with. Right. We pick off of horoscope signs. Horoscope signs.
Totally legit, I swear.
This is our decision making.
I mean, they call it horoscope.
And I'm just like, okay, should we trust us? So now let me get this straight. The politicians have to ask the women who don't pay the majority of the taxes, who don't do the majority of the work. They have to cater to us and what we want, when this is our track record of decision making. We've had more decisions to make in 100 years, and we've chosen to be whores. And I'm like, okay, so we were going to say they get to pick who gets the nuke button?
Right.
It's almost like you would elect someone or get someone out of office because they say mean words and put someone with dementia in. You know, I'm not gonna. Yeah, so that's
Biden
why
2024.
women should not. Oh, you're a Biden guy.
No.
I was like, I'd have to disassociate. I'm like, disavow.
And then I forget about it 2 minutes later. But yeah, it's god damn, dude. It's so crazy. I mean, there's so much bad shit going on, but at the same time too, it's also these evil people at top as well. It's these 1%ers of 1%ers at the top that allowed this pharmacology. It's like this to allow. I mean, they allowed like they. I mean, it's not the scientists' fault that they created the Plan B pill and they created the what's called the birth control pill. It's these evil agencies within either the government or within these one world order people that pushed out this shit during the 60s and the 50s and the 70s and stuff to be out there everywhere. Plan B used to. You know what Plan B really was? Originally, what it was to control the black population.
Seriously?
The N-word project. Yeah, Margaret Sanger, that bitch. And you know what the crazy thing is? All of these studies departments, the women's studies, they literally hide history. If you request certain documents, they'll ask you who you are. They won't give it to you.
Really?
Yes. Yeah. Because this is what they say. They say, we're going to rewrite, we're basically going to read history from the point of view of the oppressed. So what does that switch it? Because now they don't believe the writings of the women at the time. They don't believe any of the historical evidence. It's like, no, we're going to put our spin on history and not make it real history. Yeah, and the women's studies department, they'll hide Margaret Sanger's racist rants.
Yeah.
All of her racist shit, they just hide.
It's crazy ass shit and stuff like that. And then on top of that, there's this whole this is mixing the red pill in with the conspiracy theory with crypto, but they've been, we all know this shit. They've been trying to control global population for a fucking long time now. And it's really messed up. They started with the African American community, and let's not even talk about all these freaking vaccines. And I'm not talking about the ones that happened recently. I'm talking about way back in the day that they're infecting people. They were literally infecting people with tuberculosis and all this crazy ass crap to get people sick to them, kill them off. And then even the Germans were using these machines and stuff on the Jewish people as well as gypsies and people that they didn't like. So they would imagine they make their own Planned Parenthood. You'd come in there, they would have basically a radiation machine kind of set like this. They would turn it on and you would be standing in line and you couldn't have kids anymore. And that shit is real. The Germans did that. So there is some fucked up shit.
80% of Planned Parenthoods are in minority neighborhoods.
Why?
80% still to this day. Think about this, okay? We will cancel Nike or whatever store for having racist roots, but the black population would be double today if it wasn't for Planned Parenthood. And so it's they literally said, we're going to try to control the black population, and they're doing it, and nobody cares. Right. Yet they'll cancel Nike or whatever corporation it is for its racist founder or racist roots, but it's someone that's committing a genocide in front of our eyes. They don't care.